from within the room once again, and then we'll open it up to the media. Please remember to click the raise hand function if you have a question.
Chris, you're coming into this fight with a 6-0 professional record. What do you need to do to extend that to 7?
I don't think I need to focus too much on my opponent as such. All the preparation that I've put in the last couple of months, since February, since lockdown, it's been like a massive training camp for myself. So if I focus on how well I perform and just get in there and do the things that I can do well, that's going to get me towards that victory.
And you made a dream Bellator debut last time out in Dublin. What did you learn from that fight?
One of the biggest things was the kind of energy I gained from the crowd, because I'm used to fighting in, obviously I've not been fighting on the world stage, but the energy from the crowd, and you can use it as your advantage rather than it being a hindrance, if you like. So I really took on all the stress and all the like animosity for it. I was a bit scared for it, so I just took it all on board and just grew in it, and it just felt like home. It felt great.
You mentioned the energy of the crowd. It was a great atmosphere in Dublin. This week will be slightly different, behind closed doors. How will that compare, and how will you have to adjust mentally to the lack of fans?
I think I'm going to have to think about this as more of like, I wouldn't like to say a spar, because a spar is totally different from a fight, but I think it will give me time to think about what's going on in there and be far more in tune with my body, because sometimes the crowd can make you push forward when you don't want to, but because they get you hyped up. But yeah, I think not having a crowd will allow me to hear my own thoughts and stuff.
Steve?
Thank you, Chris. And you're 6-0, as has been mentioned already, and you've got a fantastic finishing record. Every opponent has been a knockout or a submission. So are you expecting to have another performance at that level and finish quickly in this fight?
100%, yeah. I've got 15 minutes to finish this guy. I don't mind if I finish him on the first or the third. The preparation that I've put in and the dedication that I do put into this is I train like a fight, and if anybody's seen me fighting, they know I'm going to go in for the kill. I'll always remember, like going over to Dublin, you get the crowd and stuff, and you're fighting a hometown guy. You don't want to go to the judges' scorecard. So I'm going to be throwing some heat with my hands. I'm going to be throwing some heat with my legs. So don't blink.
Is that heat how you got the nickname The Problem? Were you a problem for your training partners that they couldn't deal with that heat?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, it was actually my manager that gave me the name The Problem, because at the very start of my career, everybody in my area kind of knew who I was, and he really struggled to get me matched. And then obviously you guys came along and swept me up, and I was able to fight Sam Slater. On paper, it was an even match, and I was quite scared about that match as well, because I'd never been on the world stage. So that was kind of like a big step back, and I knew that I could compete at this level. But yeah, not a lot of people want to fight me, and 90% of the people I have a pull like this fight as well. I've had a last minute replacement, which I'm very fortunate to have. But everybody keeps pulling out because they know that I'm coming for them.
Finally, for me, would you have liked to have been in a higher position on this card, co-main event possibly, or are you comfortable with being in the spot you're at?
Listen, everybody needs to earn their spot. I've always been a big advocate of earning your place, and regardless of where I am on the card, people will tune in, because my fighting style is full force. So I don't really mind where I am on the card. And after this performance, hopefully maybe Bellator will put me higher up the card. But at the end of it, people are going to call me the employee of the month, because I'm just going to blitz this guy out and then hopefully get another one in and just keep fighting, because Bellator's my boss at the end of the day, and they tell me what to do and I'll do it, and who to fight, and I'll fight them.
Gareth?
Yes, good afternoon, brother. How are you?
Good, thanks. How's yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Now, I want to do a little bit of history with you here, right? And maybe not everyone on the call will know this, but I know you will, because I want to go back and I think you've got a fantastic aura about you as a fighter and in the way you fight, and you use that as well very powerfully. A lot of people on this call may not know that you're from Stirling, and of course 700 odd years ago it was where William Wallace defeated the English.
Yes, that's why my tattoo, every man dies but not every man lives.
I want to ask you, Chris, where you feel in yourself where your desire and ability to be like a gladiator, you think like a fighting athlete, and yet, you've got a gladiator's mindset. Where does it all come from in you?
I think the gladiator mindset, or the kind of the mentality that I have, is bred into me. I've had this kind of mindset since I've been at school, and it kind of got me in bother at school. And I don't like confrontation in the sense that I would never go out of my way to be intimidating or hurt somebody, but I thrive in that area. So if there's a spotlight on me and everybody's watching, I'm going to perform. And things like the passing of my mother and stuff like that really forced me to go and set out for my dreams and really push forward for these things.
Did you know that you were excelling at other sport? Like rugby's a big sport in the area as well. There have been some great rugby players from the area. Did you ever take up rugby or play any rugby and have that kind of physical stuff as well? Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I played rugby at a very young age, and to be totally honest, because I lived a little bit further away at that stage, it was a big drive for my grandparents to drive me to rugby. So I was only able to get there 2 times a week, and all the guys were lifting weights and stuff like that, and I didn't have that facility. So I reckon if I had that kind of facility to work in, I would have been a better rugby player, and I maybe wouldn't have took this route. But things like if I knew the knowledge about rugby as I do now as a personal trainer, I probably would have been a far better rugby player. But I think this is my call, and this is where I need to be. And I'm glad that the rugby is a byproduct of what I am now.
Do you feel kind of lucky as well, if you like, that you've come along at a time where Bellator is really looking to develop a European series and give people who are successful from this area opportunities in America? I know that you like the travel around the world. You ATT in America and obviously Thailand you travel to, I've read about. Do you feel privileged that you're in the right place at the right time with them expanding this at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm really happy to be associated with a massive company. They treat you so well, and they pay you well, and they look after you. And I would say I was lucky that this has happened. I've done all the right things in the step up to it, so that obviously would provide me the platform. And me approaching my manager and stuff like that was a massive thing too. But yeah, I think this is where I need to be at the moment, and this is where I want to be right now.
Final one from me. Thanks, guys, for keeping me on. Obviously, Patricio's the champion. Patricio Pitbull's the champion at the moment. Have you already envisaged yourself fighting someone like him, maybe in 6 fights' time or 7 fights' time? Have you already envisaged that, Chris?
Yes. When I heard that Peter Cooley had broken his hand in the training, I heard that his brother was left without an opponent or whatever. I'm sure that I would just have hopped in there and then. I'm just so fortunate that I believe in myself so much that I can then just jump in and fight anyone at any given time.
All right, we'll take a few more questions here. Jake?
Hi, Chris, mate. Jake Jones here, and I like to see you repping the Violent Money merchandise. I think they're doing fantastic things, man.
They're doing great things.
Indeed, mate. So mentioned a few times that if you win against Furtado, you're going to go 7-0. Now, his last fight was against Kiefer, who is one of the most marketable people in for Bellator and one of Bellator's biggest prospects. So, with a win over Furtado, where do you see this putting you in the lightweight division? And well, you just mentioned there with a fight with Patricky. Is that something that you would kind of ask for?
Yeah, well, it all depends what my manager has planned for me too. You know, the thing with the fighter mentality is you jump in and you do whatever you need to do to fight, and that's my job. So between my manager and my coaches, they'll come to a decision whether I fight somebody or not. You know, it's kind of out of my hands, and I feel that's why I've got the best manager and I've got the best coaches in the world, because they have my best interests at heart. So all I need to do is turn up and sign the dotted line, and that's all I need to do.
So did you take anything from Furtado's matchup with Keith? Is there anything you thought in the fight that you can expose?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I don't feel Kiefer did very well in that fight, and I actually thought he lost that fight, but everybody's got their own opinion on fights. My forward pressure and the will to win is going to be overwhelming for Furtado.
Luis?
Hi, you have a 100% finish ratio as a pro. Do you feel some extra pressure for moving to 7-0 and keep the expectation?
Not really, no. If I just go out there and do my thing, obviously everybody wants to not lose. It's a big thing for me losing, and I obviously don't want to lose ever again in my whole career. But how many people go through MMA without actually having a loss in their career? So one day the day might come, but not today, not tomorrow, and not on Thursday the 1st. I just need to concentrate on myself, push forward, and keep moving forward.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate the time, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Next up, we have a